What is going on, everyone? My name is Andy. Welcome back to another FPL video. And this one is my team selection for Game Week 31. So I'm going to run you through how the team is looking, thoughts on who to sell Gabriel for, who I'm going to captain as well, and how I did in Game Week 30. So if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Let's get into it. So Game Week 30 was the week I activated my second wildcard and I scored 58 points, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it was enough to move me from about 280k to 240k. So I'll absolutely take a green arrow, even though it never feels like quite enough in FPL. In terms of the points, double Arsenal defence, not an ideal start to the game week. Gabriel goes off injured very early. We now know that he's out for the season. And David Raya loses his clean sheet in the 94th minute. So not a great start. Munoz also blanked as well. I spent so long deliberating over wildcards, different drafts. Could I really leave him out? Did I have to include him? And in the end, he gets 2 points against Southampton. That is classic FPL. Vardy got a clean sheet against Leicester, as most defenders do at the moment. Then into midfield, it's just a sea of blanks. Salah blank, although he did get a clean sheet point at least. Eze and Sarr also blanked. Palmer did come up with an assist, though. I'm recording this straight after the Chelsea-Spurs game. Finally got another attack and return. Picked up one bonus as well. I'll take 6 points. I know that Saka didn't even start and he got 8 points off the bench. But to be honest, if you told me that Saka was going to be benched, there's no way I would have started with him. I know that people that have gone for Saka have now saved a transfer, but I would have preferred to have Palmer starting against Spurs, probably getting at least like 80 to 90 minutes. I would have taken that every time. So although I'm down on points, I'm pretty happy with that decision. And Palmer's next couple of fixtures are decent as well. My forward line was good. Evan Nielsen, 8 points. Isak, 8 points. And Marmoush, captain, scored me 18. That was quite a last-minute decision. I think I was always tempted to go there, but Salah's just so consistent that it's hard to go against him. If I'd gone for Haaland, if Haaland was fully fit and available, then I definitely would have captained him, no questions asked. But because it was Marmoush, I was a little bit less sure. So for him to score, I was very happy with that. Man City could have had a penalty or two in that game as well. It would have been nice to know who's their penalty taker without Haaland. I'm hoping it's Marmoush, although that's not a guarantee. But either way, I'll take the 9 points. It's only a 6-point gain over captaining Saka instead. But at this point of the season, every point helps. And I'll absolutely take 6 of them. The one thing I'm kind of happy about is selling Salah in Game Week 29. Doesn't look quite so stupid now because he's blanked the next game week in Game Week 30. I'm sure that's not going to continue. But I really do think if Haaland had been fit, I would have gone for him in my draft and just left Salah out. But obviously, we'll never know how that would have gone because Haaland's injured. So overall, fairly happy with the wild card. But obviously, there's many weeks of the season remaining. My bench was decent. Martinez clean sheet, Jacob Murphy assist, Nico Williams clean sheet as well. It is what it is. Sometimes you're going to get points on your bench, especially when you're preparing for bench boost over the next few weeks. So decent start to wild card. Let's see how I'm set up for Game Week 31 and what I'm going to do with Gabriel. So with my defence, I think we've got to talk about Gabriel first. As I've just mentioned, he's out for the season, so I've got to start thinking about replacements. I'm pretty sure I'm just going to go for the obvious, boring option, and that is Saliba from Arsenal, and just swap my Arsenal defender for a different one instead. I've thought about it a lot since the Gabriel news came out. I just can't see a better defender to bring in. And a lot of people keep saying to me that without Gabriel, the Arsenal defence will be weakened. And I absolutely agree with that. But how much do you think it's been weakened by? If we say that before the injury, Arsenal were a top 2 defence, which I don't think many people could argue with, where in the pecking order do they now sit? I don't think they suddenly drop massively. The Arsenal defence is still going to be very good. So switching to Saliba just makes quite a lot of sense. One reason is Arsenal just have pretty good fixtures for the rest of the season. So it's Everton away this week, then Brentford at home in 32, when I'm probably looking to bench boost. Then in 33, the doubles have now been confirmed. So it's Ipswich away, Palace at home. Then I'm going to free hit, so it doesn't matter that Arsenal blank in 34. Then Bournemouth at home in 35. Liverpool away in 36 is tough. Then it's Newcastle at home and Southampton away. So most weeks I'm more than happy to play an Arsenal defender. So I can't really see any good reason not to go for Saliba. Obviously, other Arsenal defenders are up for consideration as well, like Timber if he's fit, maybe Kivior if he's going to play centre-back. I'm not really interested in going for them, though. Like, already, off the back of a wild card, I've got transfers booked for Game Week 33. Straight away, I've got an injury to Gabriel. Transfers are precious. And after the free hit, we may, it's not guaranteed, but we may have more doubles and more blanks to contend with. I need to save as many transfers as possible. I don't want to put in a Timber or a Kivior who then don't start one game and are thinking about transferring them out. At least with Saliba, I know he's going to play every single match. And because I'm free hitting in 34, I want to get a defender in with a double game week. So my options are only Arsenal, Man City, or Villa. I can't go for Crystal Palace because I'm already tripled up. So are we saying that because Gabriel is not fit, that Man City and Aston Villa defence are suddenly better than Arsenal? I'm not sure that's the case. And for me, it would come down to something like this. Saliba and Savinho, or Konza or Ruben Dias, plus someone like Merino. Like, a lot of people are thinking about selling Gabriel and going to double attack. I just can't get that excited about buying Merino. I'd rather have Saliba and Savinho than Konza and Merino, for example. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to buy Saliba. Another team that people will be looking at is Liverpool, and it makes sense to potentially move to someone like Van Dijk at a similar price. But again, I'm free hitting in game week 34, so the blank doesn't matter. Next 3 game weeks, Liverpool have got Fulham away, West Ham at home, Leicester away. So 3 games, not bad. And Arsenal have got those 4 matches that I mentioned. Everton away, Brentford at home, Ipswich away and Palace at home. So Arsenal's fixtures are as good, if not slightly better. Plus they've got an extra fixture. So to go to a Liverpool defender instead of an Arsenal one, I'm saying that Arsenal defence is so bad without Gabriel that I'm willing to drop a fixture. And I just don't think their defence will be that bad. So I'm almost certainly going to do Gabriel to Saliba. The only question is, do I do it in game week 31? I'm slightly tempted to wait until 32. And the reason for that is something else might happen. I don't want to bring in Saliba, then he plays against Real Madrid, then he gets injured. Because transfers are so precious at the moment, and because I'm looking to bench boost, I've got to make sure I make the right move. And although I think Saliba against Everton away is better than Vardio against Man United away this week, it's not so much better that I think I have to use the transfer. And I've got 0.8 million in the bank, so if there's any price changes, it shouldn't stop me doing my future moves. So that's a very long way of saying I cannot see any reason not to do Gabriel to Saliba, but I might do it next week. Elsewhere in my defence, I was always playing Livramento against Leicester away, always playing Munoz against Brighton at home, so I'm more than happy with that. And like I said, my third defender is Vardio. I think he's fine against Man United away. I just don't see a rush to kind of replace him. And Nico Williams is on the bench against Villa away. Goalkeepers, there's a slight choice to be made. Raya against Everton away, or Martinez against Forest at home. I probably just about prefer the Forest at home fixture. But even without Gabriel, as you can probably imagine at this point, I still back the Arsenal defence. So I'm probably just going to stick to the plan and play Raya. So Gabriel to Saliba is almost certainly going to happen. It might just be next week instead. So moving on to midfield, let's talk about the elephant in the room. And that is that Cole Palmer currently has the captain's armband. Do I wish that he'd done much better against Spurs to give me more confidence to captain him this week in game week 31? Yes. But for now, I've still got the captain's armband on him. Do I think it's likely to move to Salah or Isak by the deadline? Quite possibly. I'm looking for ways basically to go against the crowd without just doing something crazy stupid. And I don't think captaining Palmer this week is stupid. It's not because Salah's just blanked, but Fulham away is not an easy fixture. I think Brentford away is slightly easier. And if I can get away with Salah having a reduced score this week, I'm not saying he will blank, but if he just goes and gets 1 assist or 1 goal, no bonus, could Palmer outscore him? Possibly. I just think in game week 32, if Isak's fit, everyone's going to captain him. In game week 33, if Saka's been looking fit and sharp, people are going to captain him. It's going to be difficult to differentiate myself over the next few weeks. Game week 34, when I free hit, will almost certainly be Salah captain against Spurs like everyone else. So maybe this is the week to go against Salah. If I'd gone through with the Haaland draft, which obviously doesn't matter now, I get it, but if I had, I wouldn't own Salah this week. So I would have had to captain someone else. That's why I'm still tempted to do it. And if Eddie Howe doesn't say that Isak's fully fit, that's going to put doubts on captaining him. So that's why I've chosen Palmer for now. I might change it. With Salah, he's just staying for now. I can't see me using a transfer on him for the rest of the season pretty much. My other 2 midfielders that I'm playing at the moment are Eze against Brighton at home and Jacob Murphy against Leicester away. I've actually got Ismail Sarr on the bench, which I'm not completely happy with. But given that I'm setting up for a bench boost, I've got good players that I'm going to have to leave out. And at the moment, Sarr is the one. The reason that I'm playing Eze ahead of him is just because he's more of a differential. I think those two players are quite close in terms of how good they are as FPL picks. But Eze's got lower ownership, so I might as well just play him. I'm trying to chase rank at this point. And also, if Mateta keeps getting subbed early over the next couple of games, when he's off the pitch, Eze should be on penalties. And I get that that's only a minor thing. It's only going to be a short window when Eze's on the pitch and Mateta isn't. But it's just something that I'm thinking about. So Eze ahead of Sarr. And Jacob Murphy, I don't necessarily think that he is a better option this week. It's just that he's got Leicester. And I just think if he goes and gets a big score, I wouldn't be able to forgive myself for benching someone with such a good fixture. So it just so happens that Sarr is the one that I'm leaving out. But those of you that have got him and are playing him this week, it makes absolutely sense. He's a really good option. And then up front, I've got Evan Nilsson against West Ham away, Isak against Leicester away, and Marmoush against Man United away. Originally, I was playing a 3-5-2 with Evan Nilsson on the bench and Sarr was in the 11 just because he was at home. But when I saw that news that Kluivert was a doubt for Bournemouth for Gameweek 31, I put Evan Nilsson in the 11. Simply because with Kluivert out, or potentially out, Evan Nilsson will hopefully be next in line for penalties. And I just wouldn't want to bench a penalty taker unless I absolutely had to. So basically, between Sarr, Evan Nilsson, Eze and Murphy, who to bench, it's almost a coin flip. Murphy's got Leicester, Eze is a differential, Evan Nilsson's got penalties. That's pretty much the reason that I'm playing those three and not Sarr. Sarr is fully capable of punishing me for that decision. Marmoush, not too much to say. No reason to use a transfer to get rid of him. Doubling game week 33. Minutes are going to be great with Haaland out. Simple as that. And then with Isak, he's currently yellow flagged. At the time of recording, which is before we've seen Eddie Howe's press conference, I'm pretty confident he's going to start against Leicester. He seems to have a bit of an injury where they need to manage it, rather than it being something that's going to keep him out for a long time, or even for a short time. Like, it just seems to be like one of those ones where they have to manage the pain potentially. So I think he will start, but because there are slight doubts there, I don't think I can captain him. In terms of potentially selling him or leaving him out, I just don't see me doing that. Unless Eddie Howe says he's out for weeks, I want to keep him for the double next week. And unless we think there's any reason for him to be benched or just to not play at all against Leicester, I've got to start him because of the damage he can do. So he's almost certainly staying in my team unless Eddie Howe says something where he's going to miss game weeks 31 and both games in 32, because I've got a plan to sell him in 33. So long term, I don't necessarily want to keep hold of him. I might move to Watkins if he can prove his minutes over the next couple of games. But right now, I want to keep him. So basically, my move is to bench Sarr and do Gabriel to Saliba. I'm just not sure whether to do it this week or next. I actually checked my recommended transfers over on Hub, which you can do for your own team using the links in the description below. 7-day free trial, 30% off, all that good stuff. And that is the move, Gabriel to Saliba. And I know whenever I say that, people just think, well, that's quite a boring move. Why can't you think of something more exciting? Oh, I get it, but I don't know who that player is. Like, even if we think about attacking defenders, Porro's not nailed. I can't go Trippier because I'm on triple Newcastle already. And I've mentioned Van Dijk. Like, you lose a fixture. Trent's injured at the moment. I just feel like Saliba's so obvious. I just shouldn't turn it down. And is that the kind of move I want to make straight after wildcard? Absolutely not. But you've got to deal the... What's the saying? You've got to handle the deal you've been... No. The hand you've been dealt? Yeah, something like that. I'll leave it anyway. So yeah, I'm probably going to leave Isak in. I'm just not sure I can move the captain's armband to him. I'm not sure I can leave it on Palmer either, but if I move it off him, it'll probably be to Salah. But I want to go different if I can. I want to back myself. I'm just very scared of the outcome. I've just got a green arrow. Do I want to blow it by not going for Salah captain again? I don't know. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Hit that subscribe button. I will be back later on this afternoon with final thoughts where we'll go through all the press conference updates, your questions, all that good stuff. We'll have the deadline stream tomorrow. So I'll catch you all for that. Catch you all for that soon.